my name is Sarah Hunt and I am the product manager for Adobe Edge Animate. Today I'm going to show you how to create scale to fit compositions inside of Animate. So as your browser resizes, everything will scale and resize proportionally. I've already installed Edge Animate from creative.adobe.com with my Creative Cloud membership, and I am good to go. So inside of Animate, I have this animation all laid out on my timeline. I'm going to call this complete. Everything is working the way I want it to. But what happens when I preview this in the browser is that everything is set in absolute width. So as I get to that smaller viewport size, my composition doesn't scale. I have this parallax effect, I have these clouds moving around, I have these birds flying around. But what if I want to take this and put this inside of a responsive design website? Well, that is what I'm going to show you how to do with a little bit of JavaScript inside of Animate. So if I go back inside of Animate, I'm going to start by adding an event to my stage. So this is that little bit of code I have which controls that parallax effect. But I'm going to create a new event for the stage called composition ready. So this is going to say, hey, as soon as the composition is ready to go, execute this code. So the first thing I want to do is just set a few variables, which I'm going to call later. So I'm going to start with stage height. So this is going to say, hey, every time I use the word stage height, go ahead and reference the height that I already have set for the stage. Next thing I want to do is set the transform origin to be in the top left of my composition. So as my composition scales, it's always doing it from that coordinate. And I'm going to do that using jQuery.css. Now by setting this to 0, 0, this means that that's always going to be at that top left coordinate of the stage. And I'm going to go ahead and just set those prefixes for all those other browsers, since I want this to work across the board. So the next thing I'm going to do is write a function which is actually going to be the action that resizes the stage. So I'm just going to call this scale stage. So I've just set a variable to reference the stage. I'm going to set another one to access the parent of the stage. And this is important because when I want to put this animate composition inside of another container, I want that to resize based on what those dimensions are. So I've used this jQuery API called parent, which allows me to actually get the dimensions of that parent container. I'm going to set up a few more. So this is going to get the width of that parent container because I need both the height and the width to be able to control the scale of my stage and keep everything in proportion. And the last thing I want to do is set a rescale variable, which will allow me to calculate what I want the width of the stage to be. So now there's just two more things I have left to do, and that is actually apply the transform to my stage. So I'm going to do this using that CSS API from jQuery, and I'm going to set that to transform scale, because we are actually using the CSS property transform scale to be able to do this. So I'm going to be calling that rescale variable. Now I'm just going to set this up for cross-browser awesomeness. And now in this piece, what I'm going to do is I'm going to have that parent container for whatever this stage is placed in resize to match the height of the stage. Right? So the last thing I have to do is actually just call this function. So all this is saying is, hey, whenever the window resizes, make sure that you rescale that composition so everything fits. Now I just want to set one more event so that everything executes as soon as the browser launches. Okay, so that should just about do it. I'm going to go ahead and preview this in my browser to check it out. So I'm going to push Command Return. And you can actually see inside of my browser, this is stretching to fit. So as I resize this viewport, everything is keeping that great aspect ratio. All my effects still work and all my interactivity still works. Bye-bye, bird. Oh, hello again. Now what I want to do with this is take this and place it inside of my responsive website. So I have that loaded up over here. So we're going to take that animate composition and place it inside of here. I'm going to hop back over inside of Animate. I'm going to Command S to save, and then I'm going to go ahead and publish. So I'm going to go up to File, and then publish settings. So I want to publish my files so they live beside those other HTML files that I've already created for my website. So I'm going to go ahead and click on this change directory icon. Click on that. And now I'm just going to browse to where I want these Animate files to live. This is that HTML page that I showed you. This is that style sheet, some other images, and I want everything to dump inside of this directory. So I'm going to go ahead and click choose, and now when I publish, all of those files will now be inside the same directory. So I'm going to go inside of here, and you can see that now I have this index.html file and this clouds.html file. Now what I want to do is just bring over a few of those code snippets that live inside of here and put them inside of this website here. And I'm going to do that using Edge Code. I'm going to open up Edge Code here. I'm going to Command O to open. And then I'm just going to grab these two files here. So this is that HTML page that I have laid out, but I'm going to start over inside of this Animate page. And the only pieces I have to worry about are anything that are inside of these Adobe Edge runtime comments. And I'm just going to grab this stage div as well. So I'm going to go ahead and copy this. And I'm going to paste these right before my closing head tag here. I'm going to Command paste. I'm just going to copy this div back over inside of here, and I know I want this to live inside this class I defined called stage wrap. So I'm just going to paste that right in there, making sure to keep it between that opening and that closing div tag. So I'm done. I'm good to go. I'm going to save this file, and then I'm going to preview it inside of Chrome. Just so you can see how powerful this is, I'm going to show you what this looks like on my mobile device. So I'm using this application called Reflector. So I'm going to go ahead and use AirPlay to turn that on. And now you can see that this is actually a view of my iPhone here. So now you can see, me actually using my iPhone. So I'm going to launch Edge Inspect. Now I'm going to go ahead and connect my laptop. And I'm just going to navigate to the live version that I've uploaded here. So what's going on here is I'm using AirPlay and Edge Inspect so you can actually see how I interact with my device. Like you can see my cursor is over here, not touching anything. I am actually interacting with my iPhone. But the important thing to notice is that everything has scaled down and kept that aspect ratio so I get that seamless experience on my iPhone. And I have that great interactivity too. So when I click on my bird, there he goes. Now maybe I want to see what this looks like on my iPad. Going to go ahead and load that up so you can see what I'm doing. And now I'm going to launch Inspect for my iPad. My connection's all ready to go, and you can see that we have that same great experience. Everything readjusts as I switch from those portrait to landscape views. And there you have it. That is how you can create scale-to-fit compositions inside of Animate. I've made these files available for you to download, so I encourage you to go grab them, check it out, and see what you can create. Thanks for watching.